people. Wear your mask so you protect people. Get the vaccine so you protect the community. It's all for the greater good, blah, 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 but it never says enough. Like, not even the vaccine seems to matter. It's like, oh, still wear your mask after the vaccine. Only hang out with people who've had 25 vaccine shots in a group 25 yards away from anyone else. It's really weird. But there's been some conjecture of the side effects of the vaccine. One of them was hilarious. This doctor on TV attempts to explain this away. Someone on the internet a lot of people have been posing side effects in children, but also, does the vaccine cause infertility? Here, take a look at this.
All right. Can the COVID-19 vaccine cause infertility?
This is probably the most common question I get from women. And we have to remember that right now there is no long-term data looking at these vaccines and future fertility, right? So this myth went around social media, went around the web, circulated. People heard about it and they said, well, I don't want to get the vaccine because it can cause infertility. We don't know what can happen a year after this vaccine, right? We just developed it. However, vaccines have a very safe track record in pregnancy. We know that pregnant women have gotten COVID-19, and we have not seen a major rise in spontaneous miscarriage. So there's no evidence at this time to support that. But of course, we need to follow it.
Can the vaccine cause infertility? Contrary to false reports on the internet and all over social media, there's no evidence that the vaccine causes infertility. There's also no evidence that it doesn't. So get it. See the weird logic in that? It's very, well, there's been no long-term studies. You take this arbitrary straw man of this fake bullshit, false reporting. Well, forget the report. Just forget it. Pretend it doesn't exist, that people have said that it might cause this or that it does, indicatively or affirmatively. It does cause this, and that's not true because they can't prove it. You don't know what it does. So I've always suggested talk to your doctor, and maybe with your kids or people that are not showing symptoms that are less likely to have severe adverse side effects, don't get the virus until later, until we know what the vaccine side effects are. Wait a couple years. If nothing's happened to you, odds are you've been exposed to it already. If you have antibodies especially, it's crazy. You've had antibodies, you're fine. You're really talking about craziness. The VAERS study that I showed, I don't know, a couple podcasts ago, the 1994 to 2014, the amount of vaccine-related adverse birth defects, severe birth defects associated with the vaccine, was the same percentage as people, or as double the percentage of people who have died from COVID, or possibly the mortality rate of COVID itself. And this is just talking about pregnant women who've had adverse birth defects. And they're saying, well, there's a potential for severe adverse birth defects or complications with women when they're pregnant because of COVID. I'm like, yes, fine, okay. But now, right now, all things being equal, you're pregnant, the fetus is healthy, you're a healthy pregnant woman, everything is fine. You may even have antibodies in your system. What's the rush? You don't know anything. Talk to your doctor again. It's just very how come because the scuttlebutt is not affirmed by anything in studies, the opposite, also not affirmed by studies, is less important just because it's a quote-unquote vaccine and the odds are that it's better for you net. I mean, it's kind of weird. This is kind of weird. The same people that said this is what's best for us, the lockdowns, even people that believe masks and vaccines are good, some of them said that the lockdowns themselves have done nothing. They've proven to be horrible and destroyed our economy.